Todd.
I'm Joel.
Hey, you're watching Gamblers Hub. Try to like us, try to subscribe because we make things happen. Again, I was 2-1 last week on my golden picks. And I think overall on our general picks, we're at about 75%.
Yeah, I think so. I went 2-0-1 because the Bengals pushed, so
Right.
pat myself on the back.
Yeah. Well, let's go over. We're going to only go over NFL this week. Next week's our big bowl game where we're going to pick all the bowl games and tell you how to make money. I'm going to tell you how I made money last week. And again, it's a conservative way to make money. I bet 200 straight on the 3 teams of the golden picks of last week. 2 of them won, 1 of them lost. I lost $220, $20 juice on the one that I lost. I made $400 on the 2 that I won. That gives me a total net profit of $180. And that is a nice conservative strategy on how to make money. Let's start the games. We've got 2 games on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. I like them both, actually.
Okay. Well, I like only one of them, so I'll let you start with the Cincy-Pittsburgh game.
Yeah, so the Bengals were one of my golden picks last week, and like I said, they pushed 3 points, but they did come back and win. I'm just going to touch on this real fast. And if you're not live betting, you should seriously look into that because in the second half, the Bengals were down by 2 touchdowns. I still believed in the Bengals, but the spread got changed during the game. So I put live bets in on the Bengals while that was going on. And sure enough, they came back, they won the game, and I made that push, that pre-game into a win because I won during the live betting because they came back.
There's a whole technique to the live betting. I don't play it that much, but Joel knows what he's talking about live betting. So
yeah, if you get a team that you like before the game and they start out slow, 49ers did the same thing last week. I love the 49ers, but they went down 7-0 early, so guess what happened? The line went down to single digits. I jumped all over that one when that game was going on because, of course the 49ers are going to come back and win and go to win by double digits. Heck yeah, they're going to win. Let's put some more on that one. So, that you have opportunities if you believe in if you stick to what you believe pre-game.
And as I said 6 podcasts ago, we will show you how to make money. If you look back at our podcasts, you will see that I'm at just about 70%. That's where I'm at. And I believe that Joel is around the same.
Yeah.
And if you play the way we show you, especially learn now, if you could just learn a little bit from what we're saying, next season we are going to come out strong. Now, let's talk about this first game. Cincy at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's getting 1.5.
Okay, I see it at 2 right now, and I think it's going to keep going up. So I bet now on the Bengals because the Steelers are bad. The Bengals are fighting for their lives. They're in that playoff, that wild card slot. They need it more than the Steelers. I think the Steelers just cash it in. I'm not sure who's going to play at quarterback yet. Nobody knows, probably until Sunday. But I still think the Bengals are the better team, and they're going to win by a field goal at least.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Cincy money line. I don't love it, and I just want to play it safe.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about a game that we both have interest in. Yeah. Buffalo Bills at Chargers. What do you think?
I like the Bills. Last week they just manhandled the Cowboys. I hate the Chargers at this point because they got nobody. They got, backup quarterback who's not very good and a new coach regime. I think, the Bills could win this one by 30.
What's interesting is, again, I come up with some very strange anomalies that over time you will see they work. I like Buffalo because they're going to come out strong because they need to come out strong, but I truly like them because they're a road favorite at over 12. Right now it's still 12.5?
I see it at 12 even.
12 even, huh? Okay.
Yeah,
well, it was 12.5. I truly believe that when a team comes out and they're not at home and they're a big favorite, the number is saying something. I'm going Buffalo -12. I love that game.
Agreed.
Now, we've got on Sunday Detroit at Minnesota, Minnesota +3. That game, because I don't care, I like Minnesota, and Detroit's been up and down, I'm not touching that game. Do you have a thought on that game?
I want Minnesota to do it. I mean, I like them before the season, but man, they don't look so hot. uh, Lately, they don't look so great. It's actually 3.5 now, so that might sway me to Minnesota just because now they lose by a field goal and you're winning.
Okay, I want to make an important note on this that everyone probably should listen to. Numbers did not used to change as much as they're changing now. They're changing now, multiple teams, multiple sports, much quicker, and the reason for this is the legalized gambling that's gone on across the United States. And there's a lot of gambling in other countries, but numbers did not used to change that much from day to day. Let's look at Indianapolis and Atlanta. Atlanta is at -1.5.
Yeah, Atlanta kind of ruined their chances of taking that division last week when they lost, and the Colts put themselves in prime position to take one of those wild cards. I like the Colts, man. Yeah, I like the Colts because I don't believe in the Falcons, and I think
Yes, but it's not worth putting a lot of money into.
no, I mean if you're doing like a pick 'em for every game, I'll take the Colts, but I'll probably steer away from putting like real money on it. Maybe it'll be on like one of my long shot parlays that I do for fun.
Right, I don't like that game. I think it could go either way. Cleveland at Houston. Houston's getting 2.5.
Yeah, I like Cleveland. Again, we don't know about Stroud. He's still in concussion protocol, so he didn't practice on Wednesday. I think the Browns are like this feel-good story this year, almost because Deshaun Watson, who nobody likes, out for the year, and they're still winning with that great defense and good coaching. I think Cleveland takes that one.
I like Cleveland as a road favorite.
Yeah,
They're saying that they can win the game.
yeah.
I take Cleveland money line.
Yeah.
Fuck the points. Yeah.
I mean, you're not even giving up that much juice either. I'm not sure what the money line is, but
money line
it's
130.
Like yeah,
-130.
that's not worth bashing your head against the wall after they win on a last-second field goal to win by 2 or something like that.
Seattle at Tampa Bay.
Seattle looked great last week. Boy, they looked good beating beating Philadelphia. They came back, they did it, and that was with Drew Lock at quarterback. Love it.
Tampa Bay is getting 2.5. Again, Seattle a road favorite. Seattle has definitely something to play for.
Seattle, they're fighting for that wild card
That's
spot, and yeah, they're in that NFC log jam there for the wild card. Tennessee has nothing to play for except for pride. Will Levis is probably playing for his job for next year, but Seattle, I think Seattle wins that one, and that's going to be pretty solid. I think it's going to be a nice, solid win. Nothing spectacular, no blowout, but maybe a nice 7 to 14 point win.
And I take Seattle as a money line -130 again. Washington at Jets. Jets -3. I'm not touching this game.
Gross game. Neither one of those teams have anything to play for.
Yeah.
Neither team has anything to play for. I just stay away. If anything, if you like one of the over-unders, go for it. But man, yeah, when both teams have nothing to play for.
Well, of course, at this time, right. So, people out there that are trying to learn how to sports gamble, what he just said is extremely important. Lay off games at the end of the season when there is nothing to play for. That is a game not to bet on at all.
Yeah.
Green Bay at Carolina. Carolina's getting 4.5. In this one, I like Green Bay. I'm a little nervous because I don't think Green Bay is that good a team. Again, money line that one like at -155. What are your thoughts? What do you think of Green Bay? Do you think they're going anywhere?
No, I don't think they're going anywhere. I think they win this game because Carolina's not good at football.
Do they have a chance of going to the playoffs?
Oh yeah, 6-8. They have an outside shot, so they can do it.
Yeah.
But they need to win out basically, which starts with Carolina.
Yeah, I'm not betting the game. I don't love the game.
What I do, I like the under in that game.
What is the under?
The under is 37.5. Carolina's put up 7 points, 6 points, 18 points, 10 in their last 5 games. That's no good.
So let me tell you a little statistic. 37.5 is like a breaking point in one of my over-under strategies for the NFL. I won't touch that game, but as much as you may think it looks like an under, I do believe it will be just over at like 42.
Okay.
But it's only because it fits into a strategy profile of mine that is not a total number, 37.5. Enough of a low number for this specific situation. I would have to take the over 37.5.
All right.
We've got Jacksonville at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is -1.5.
Yeah, I mean, conversely to that Washington New York Jets game, both teams have something to play for here. Both teams are tied for their division lead, but they own the tiebreaker, so they're both technically in first place, but they have zero margin for error. So they have everything to play for in this game. And I've been on the Jaguars bandwagon all season, so I'm not going to deviate now. I'm going Jaguars. I think the NFC South is just terrible. I take the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is going to finally have that game we've been waiting for.
And if you like the Jaguars, instead of taking 1.5, I put it into a parlay and take the plus 125 one. Yep, and then make your parlay come out with some more money.
And it evens it out if you take one of those teams that you liked at -2.5, take that money line, and then that balances it out.
Yeah, and that brings up a point, though. Sometimes, if you have good hunches on dogs, taking 2 money line dogs and putting some money in there makes some good money.
There you go.
Yeah, it does.
2 pluses is a great parlay.
So another game here that I'm not interested in is Arizona at Chicago.
Yeah.
You never know what Chicago's going to do, other than lose a lot. But then you've got Arizona.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw this one out here because the teams have nothing to play for. There's one person in particular who has a lot to play for, and that's Justin Fields, quarterback for Chicago. They're going to have the first pick in the draft. Justin Fields is playing for his job next year. If he doesn't play well, there's no doubt they're going to take a quarterback in the first pick in the draft. And he's gone. He's going to be on the sidelines. He's going to be traded. We won't know if he gets another shot. He is going to play on fire the rest of the year because he has to. This is his chance. This is his.
Okay. Do you think
audition.
That the number of 4.5 for Chicago -4.5 is that high instead of maybe -3 or -2.5?
It might
because of what you just said.
It might be. I love the over on that one too, 43.5. Both teams have been putting up solid points lately. I mean, maybe not blow them out of the water, but in the 20s. And when they get together, I think it will turn into a shootout. What's the weather looking like in Chicago? If it's snowy, I change my mind. Nah, it's cold, but sunny. I like the over. I like the Bears. Maybe tease that one down to a lower number of money line. But like I said, Justin Fields, I would be surprised if he doesn't put up big numbers.
So now we got Dallas at Miami.
Mm-hmm. That's second best game of the week. So
I don't know which way to go because my strategies and numbers don't mix on this game, and Dallas has confused me up and down. So I'm going to pass and throw it to you, and you tell me what you think about this game.
As a sports fan,
because I was wrong last week, and you were right about that.
Yeah. As a sports fan who gambles instead of a sports gambler like you are, I guess there's like minor differences. I look at the teams, I look at the players, I look at all that sort of stuff instead of the numbers. But Dallas is 4 losses on the road. They're on the road again this week. They look pretty bad at Buffalo. I think both of these teams have struggled against good teams this week. I know Dallas does have the one good win against Philadelphia, but Miami doesn't have a big win against a good team. This week will be their first one. They're putting on a show here lately, and they're trying to set up that first seed. I think Miami wins this one. I think they are the better of those two teams. It could be a shootout. 49.5 is a big number for the over/under, but both these teams have no problem scoring at all. This could be a 38-31 game pretty easily. But I like Miami. I like the over. I like Miami, and maybe it's my 49ers hating on Dallas, but I don't buy into Dallas this year. I think they're a good team, and they'll beat 25 other teams easy, no problem. I think this is one of the teams they can't beat.
Okay. So he's got Miami there. I'm going to pass on it. Now, this game I'm not passing on. It is going to be one of my favorite games. I like this game a lot, but I only like the under. I like New England at Denver. It is going to snow. So when you guys are seeing this podcast, remember on the Bronco game Sunday night, it's going to be snowing. It's going to go slow. They're going to have problems with their passing. Under 34.5. I love it. And I also like the Broncos to win, but not to necessarily cover 6.5. I would money line it. I don't trust the Broncos, but I don't care that much about the points of minus 6.5. I care more about taking the under.
Yeah, you can even parlay those two together with a money line Broncos with the under, and come out on top when the Broncos win, 14-3 or something like that. But yeah, the Patriots run game isn't great, and in the snow you're not going to be throwing the ball a whole lot. Bronco run game's pretty solid. So yeah, I like the Broncos to win. 6.5's a big number. They could easily cover that one though. I like the under as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vegas at Kansas City. Kansas City minus 10. Obviously, Kansas City is not the same team as
Last 3-4 years, something
pretty
like that.
much.
Yeah.
10.
It's a big number.
Especially when Vegas, I don't love it. I know Kansas City will win. I don't think they're necessarily going to cover 10. I don't even think I would tease it down to 9.5. I'm going to skip that game.
Yeah, money line's at minus 520. That's a big number to make any money on
Unless you put a bunch of games in.
Yeah, and then there's always that one that messes it up. But yeah, that's a tough one because the Raiders sure looked good last week, blowing up the Chargers. But I mean, I take the Chiefs still if I had to, but I'll stay away from real money on that one. That might be another one where I put in a long shot parlay, but no real money.
Well, we moved on to
Giants Eagles.
Giants at Eagles.
12 points for Philly.
So it moved from 11.5. In this specific spot, again, I like Philly. I'm going to take that 12 and bring it down to 9.5, buy a couple points on it. And I think there's a good chance that Philly could win by 2 touchdowns or more.
Yeah.
But playing it safe on this one, I'm going to take it by the points and take Philly minus 9.5.
I mean, at some point, Philly has to turn it around, right? Losing 3 in a row.
It's just this is the week.
It. At home against the bad Giants team. Yeah, they got to do it.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. So
a lot of my friends that predicted Vegas are saying, don't even play it safe. They're going to win by 2 to 3 touchdowns,
maybe more.
And I think they could. But in this case, I'm going to play it safe and buy a couple.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take the Eagles on the whole points. I think it's a blowout.
Now, here's your game, and it's Baltimore at San Francisco.
Is this a Super Bowl preview? Because it sure looks like it.
It does
the
look
best
like
team in
it.
the NFC, best team in the AFC.
I think that San Francisco is going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, me too.
That I think. And I'm not a fan of any one team. I'm a fan of this. Green dollars. Green dollars. That's what I'm a fan of. And
is that why you use a green Sharpie?
That's why I use a green Sharpie, guys. That's why. And so on this game, I'm very comfortable to money line at San Francisco wins. I am nervous to play with points, but I'd love to hear your perspective.
Okay, I'm going to go a little bit more into that one because there's some questionable situations here that changes my perspective. And that's the 49ers defensive line. Armstead and Hargrave was out last week, and the Cardinals just ran it down their throats. Obviously, the 49ers defense was more than enough to counteract that. They let up 200 yards on the ground last week. They can't afford to do that this week against Baltimore. So I'm waiting until probably Sunday to place any 49ers bets because I want to see if they're playing. They're questionable. If they play, Niners. If they don't, I'll just steer away from that, which is what I do with my Niners. I will never, ever, 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 ever bet against them, but I will stay away from their games. So I'm going to wait and see on those. I mean, I like the Niners. The Eagles losing last week changed their dynamic because if the Eagles won last week, Niners need to win out for that number 1 seed. Now they can lose a game and still get the number 1 seed. Perhaps this is the week where they say, let's rest our banged up guys. Let's give them an extra week's rest. Win the last 2 very winnable games, and then get the bye, get another week's rest. I can see them doing that. I would wait until, Monday night, Monday to add them to anything before doing anything. That's just me. You can bet it now because I think if they mark them out, the line will shift. If they mark them in, the line will shift. So if you have a hunch one way or the other, play it now. Otherwise, play it safe and wait until you hear about them. That's my 2 cents. I'm going to wait.
Got it. Okay, it's time for golden picks.
Yeah.
My first golden pick, and I want you to follow me carefully on this, and remember what I said. Merry Christmas, by the way. Happy holidays. Check this out. If you bet each individual pick straight that I'm giving you, you will make money. I don't know how much, depending on how you bet. But if you don't parlay what I'm giving you here, you will make money, because I will definitely be 2 out of 3. My first game is Buffalo, minus 12.5, bringing the 12.5 down to 9.5. First pick. Second pick, golden pick, is New England at Denver under 34.5, straight up, not buying any points. And my last big pick is Philly minus 11.5, bringing it down to 9.5. And I'm going to throw $250 on each of the games so you understand what I'm doing. So I'm throwing out $750, and most likely I'll end up making, out of 2 out of 3, I'm going to end up making about 210, 220. I'm not doing the math in my head. So long story short, I've got Philly minus 11.5, buying 2 points to 9.5. Going with the under 34.5 on the Denver Bronco game. And on Buffalo, taking the 12.5, bringing it down again to 9.5, and betting that straight. 250, 250, and 250.
All right. Well, he stole a couple of my golden picks, so I'm gonna take something different just so you have some other things to pick from. Because I like a bunch of things this week. All right, so instead of the Bills, which I do love that pick, I'm gonna do this the other Saturday game, which is the Bengals minus 2. I like the Bengals. They need the game. They're gonna win. So I mean, money line it if you want, but I feel comfortable with the 2. They'll win by a touchdown. And then I also love the Jaguars. I love the Jaguars. They're going to win. They need this. They're the better team. Buccaneers aren't that good. Jaguars will take that one in the sunny Florida Bowl. So I go with the Jaguars. Just take that one money line, get some plus action on it. And then last but not least, I like the Cowboys Dolphins over 49.5. It's going to be a shootout. Tua versus Dak. It's going to be a good one. Watch it. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be a lot of points. I know you don't like overs, but I think this is going to be a fun game with a lot of points.
I believe in action.
Yeah.
It's just that I am the king of the unders.
Yeah.
And the next season, I'm going to tell you right now, if you guys follow us, you will see me at 75 to 85% on every under pick I make. And that's how it's always been. And it will always be that way. Hey, like or hate us, subscribe. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays from Todd
And Joel.
Hey, you're watching Gamblers Hub, and next year is going to be even better. But next week, it's our bowl game special. And I hope there's a couple unders in there. We're out of here.